Good day everyone, my name is Cassandra. Today, my group are going to present public policies and unemployment in Malaysia. Our objective is we want to gain knowledge of the rising unemployment rate caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has an impact on various age of groups. Second one is we want to see what the Malaysian government plans to reduce the growing unemployment problems in Malaysia by working with the national banking institution to facilitate and meet the welfare of the people who are affected by the pandemic. Causes of unemployment in Malaysia. Economic growth becomes slower. Unemployment that happened in Malaysia during the lockdown, which is the lockdown is turning into an economic knockout to the country. In terms of their profits, individuals and businesses affected by the sudden closures will be at high risk of facing immediate cash flow constraints. The government's declining expenditure as well as lower public and private investment already reduced economic growth to 4.3% in 2019. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the growth has been sharply reversed to negative 6% 2020. More than 30,000 businesses have shut down since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic up to September this year. The number of unemployment decreased marginally month to month by 3,500 persons to 741,600 persons compared to July 2020, which is 741,100 per person. The COVID-19 pandemic has made a powerful impact to the global economy in 2020. From this analysis, we know that the economic growth rate is decreasing. Close contact with others in close place. Workers who work at manufacturing work environment, which is production or assembly line or other area in busy plants where workers have close contact with co-workers and managers. They may contribute substantially to workers' potential exposures. Meanwhile, manufacturing workers may be exposed to the infectious virus through respiratory droplets in the air. For example, when the workers in a plant who have the virus cough or sneeze. It is also possible that exposures could occur when contact with contaminant surfaces or objects such as equipment, room tables or workstations. Other than that, sharing transportation such as ride-share, vans or shuttle vehicles, carpools and public transportation.
Next, the cause of unemployment is graduates face the problem of getting a job. As you can see, Sabah has the highest rates for both men and women of graduate unemployment. But in Terengganu, Perlis and Kelantan, women are also significantly at high rates. Other than that, the relation between graduation and jobs does not function as efficiently and steadily as you want. For example, graduates with bachelor's degrees from very low-income backgrounds were 32% are not employed. The percentage of this growth decreases rapidly with increasing revenues to 27% 25% and 21 to 23%. Lastly, higher education is not inherently a limitation to work security disparities, nor is it conceivable that it will expand them as high-income graduates embark on steeper career trajectories than poorer cohort members. And the last of the cause of unemployment is COVID-19 implications. As you can see, the autonomous workers are the hardest affected by the MCO during the COVID-19. The Department of Statistics at the end of March 2020 revealed that 47% of self-employed workers were unemployed, as opposed to 24% for workers and 2% for employed workers in the private industry. Even if the person is working, the magnitude of the income loss and saving buffer is most dire.
Thank you to my friend for the presentation just now. I'm Nurul Atika binti Maidin will present about measure to control unemployment in Malaysia, which is monetary policy. Firstly is Employers Provident Fund, or known as KWSP. It's responsible for the private sector to manage or provide their money saving services because of monthly compulsory salary deduction to the EPF for future planning when retiring from the private sector. EPF contributor can withdraw their money if they do not contribute to the EPF for more than 2 consecutive months, or those who have not worked for a long time due to unemployment because of COVID-19. They can apply for ICNR and as much 10,000 ringgit according to requirements, and 6,000 which is ILestari in accordance with the condition that have been set. This can help those who have problem losing their job and benefit from their saving. Contributor that can be withdrawn before retirement, which is 11% of employer and 30% from chairman when we contribute to the EPF. Secondly, many things have been done by the institution of Bank Negara Malaysia to help the people recover from economic system by lowering the interest rate that can be used by them as a model to start an online businesses that is very helpful for the income of entrepreneur. And firm can increase the investment by adding more workers that can decrease the rate of unemployment. The bank also help those who still need to make payment for their car every month to the bank, with given the flexibility not to pay monthly car loan until October, which is for 6 months. Lastly is National Higher Education Fund Corporation, or known as PTPTN. With the rate of increase experienced by the fresh graduate, that also one of the factors that contribute to the growing unemployment problem in Malaysia due to the inexperience and lack of skill that desired by a firm, and they also do not need employees to reduce expenses that have been faced by a business. To alleviate the burdens of those who have just completed their study and still do not have a fixed income to make repayment on loans made while continuing education to a higher level. PTPTN also has agreed and provided facility to those who have just completed their study by postpone the loan repayment rate made by students until the situation recover and until this fresh graduate get a permanent job to make repayment with monthly deduction according to the amount of loan made by the student. This can reduce their burden and they do not have to worry about all the action that will be taken if they do not make a loan payment, which is a rule before the COVID-19 pandemic that is different nowadays. That's all for me. For the next presentation, I will pass it to my friends.
Thank you to Nurul Atika. Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Mazra binti Lumbutan and I will continue to explain the measure to control employment in Malaysia in fiscal policy sector. In this context, the government plays an important role to be a pillar to overcome the problem of unemployment in our country. The government is a big body that can control all the system in Malaysia, including the unemployment problems that our country is experiencing. Various initiatives that the government has recommended as well as is underway and is still in the planning to curb the problem of unemployment in our country, which is increasing due to the pandemic that hit the world. However, the problem of unemployment is not something new in our country because before this pandemic hit, the unemployment crisis was clearly visible from the graduates, which is quite difficult to get a job after they finish their studies. If before there was a lot of unemployment already there, what about now that the employment crisis has doubled from the previous one? In this regard, the government has issued all effective initiatives to overcome the problem of unemployment in our country, even though it is still in the implementation phase to control this crisis, but the government is still working to prevent it. In overcoming the problem of the employment among graduates who do not get a job after graduation, the government has provided an opportunity to expand the employment sector by providing various job scopes, which requires the entry of new employees into the sector that has been established. It can be used as an example where the government provides government clinics such as Klinik Satu Malaysia, Pusat Internet Satu Malaysia, which indirectly has provided many job opportunities. So new employees are needed to ensure it operates. As such, graduates in the medical field can seize this opportunity to apply for a job. Also, for graduates who are qualified to work and have computer system skills, they are eligible to offer themselves to work at the One Malaysia Internet Center provided by the government. In other efforts, the government ensure that SPM, Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia graduates still get jobs even though they do not get the opportunity to continue their studies to the next level, but still get the opportunity to get jobs that can guarantee their future. The government has provided a platform, namely SPA, to train and thus take them to work as government employees after the end of their training period. In this sector, SPM graduates are eligible to apply to enter as civil servants. In addition, the government has provided another platform for those who are more inclined to skills. In this current situation, where COVID-19 has stopped some operations and caused many people to lose their jobs, the government slightly changed their strategy to ensure that unemployment rates do not accumulate much, so that people can still get job even in any job or in anything circumstance. The government opens up many job opportunities, especially in the medical field. This is because experts in the field of medicine are very much needed to deal with the coronavirus infection that plagues many people. To ensure that all victims of the infection receive adequate treatment, medical staff is doubled. Apart from that, the government also recruits cleaning staff who also operate in sanitation work to eradicate the virus and ensure that all places are clean and free from any possibility of causing the virus infections. In addition, cleaning staff will also work together at the medical center to collect the medical equipment that has been used is also very necessary so that all work goes smoothly. The government is doing its best to help address and lead the people to face this pandemic crisis, and at the same time, this is the unconscious also provide employment opportunities to Malaysians. The government is urging the people to use face masks to ensure that infections can be avoided. But what has hit our country is the lack of resources for face masks and other medical equipment because there are too many victims of this COVID-19 infection. Emergency situation caused by this COVID-19, the government is very aware of the condition of the people, which is greatly affected income as well. Therefore, the government has opened another job opportunities for the people to become laborers to produce face masks and other equipment in production factories. Those losing jobs from their employers, the government provides BPN, Bantuan Perhatian Nasional, assistance to groups of individuals and those who have families. With this, people can cover their expenses while they can use the money to start capital for their online business. Many can be seen on social media voices from some communities where they can start their business through the money that the government has given. With this initiative, they can grow the money as income from their online business. Apart from the BPN, Bantuan Perhatian Nasional, BPN Plus and Short-Term Economic Recovery Plan generate the stimulus package introduced by the government, and additional RM5.3 billion has been allocated by the government for the expansion of the salary subsidy program. The package includes wage subsidies, reskilling and upskilling programs, recruitment and training, as well as socio-economic protection leading to the recovery of the labor market since June 2020. Meanwhile, a complete of RM6.8 million has been channeled to the Tekun Business Recovery Theme, which can profit 900 micro, little and medium enterprises. From another context, the government seeks to reduce the tax on entrepreneur or operating companies. If previously the government imposed high tax rates on entrepreneur, the government reduced their burden by reducing the tax rate on entrepreneurs. So that's all from me about measure to control unemployment in Malaysia. I will pass the floor to the next presenter. And
As for the conclusion, based on the article that we have choose about unemployment in Malaysia, started with this pandemic COVID-19, the situation is worse as the pandemic COVID-19 has created health crisis worldwide. The unemployment rate has increased from time to time and many communities has lost their job for a long period of time as well as causing the country economy to deteriorate. There are many sectors has been closed including tourism, education, entertainment and recreational activities due to movement control order which is MCO. The unemployment between male and female are quite similar among youth. Based on Department of Statistics Malaysia which is DOSM, in March 2020, the unemployed person has increased from time to time. For more information on job condition, based on the study stat in the article, among the community that unemployment are young societies such as students who are just graduate and communities that work in tourism industry sector. In 2020, the unemployment rate has fallen from month to month. As for the permission to operating sector, the total of labor force has increased from 55,000 person to 15.82 million person in July 2020. And the labor force participation rate, which is LFPR, remained at 68.1%. The number of employed has increased from month to month. The rate of employment to population ratio has increased from 64.7% to 64.9%, and the unemployment rate has continued to fall from 4.9% to 4.7% in July 2020. For the reflection, pandemic COVID-19 giving a tremendous impact to society. What did I get from this article? It gives more information and detail about what happened with job condition which stem from this pandemic COVID-19 from time to time. At the same time, it also shown the rate of employment at the specific of time.